Facebook's getting into online dating, and gag me with a spoon. In one of the highlights of today's F8 conference, Facebook announced it was entering the online dating space with new features. These new features, built into Facebook's existing app, would use information from your profile to match you with potential paramours based on mutual interests and friends. If I had my choice of apps to use to find a date, Facebook probably wouldn't be one of them. Instagram and WhatsApp are both getting group video calls soon. At its F8 conference yesterday, Facebook announced that it's bringing group video chats to both Instagram and WhatsApp in future updates. On Instagram, you'll soon find a new camera icon in your direct conversation screens. Tapping it will initiate an instant video call, and you can minimize it to continue navigating across the rest of the app. Facebook didn't specify exactly how many users will be supported per call, but from the previews we've seen, it looks like you'll be limited to 4 people at a time. Thousands of academics spurn Nature's new paid access machine learning journal. Nature, one of the most prestigious scientific journals in the world, has just announced plans to create a machine intelligence imprint, and researchers are not happy. The field has been doing fine with open access journals, why clog it up with the paid access model everyone has been trying to escape for decades? The statement comes from Tom Dieterich at Oregon State University, founding president of the International Machine Learning Society. New big screen update streams your desktop to the Oculus Go. Oculus says that its new Go headset already boasts support for more than 1,000 titles out of the gate as of today. One of the most interesting of the small subset of those that I've taken a look at today has been the latest update for Big Screen, which brings the previously PC-only VR desktop streaming platform to mobile with Oculus Go. The experience will definitely feel a little different without a tracked headset and controllers, but Oculus Go users will be able to dive in and chat with Vive, Rift, and Windows Mr. users just the same. Birchbox ownership changes hands after beauty business does recap. Beauty in a Box brand Birchbox has changed up its ownership structure. The New York-based startup, which has raised almost $90 million in funding from noted venture firms like Axel Partners and First Round Capital, has a new majority owner in hedge fund Viking Global, sources confirmed to TechCrunch. Birchbox has managed to become a household name amongst its targeted demographic of female millennials, but its business has faced challenges amidst growing competition. 10 big announcements from day 1 of F8. Day 1 of Facebook's F8 conference was packed with announcements and updates. Facebook will match you based on all its data, and messaging will happen in a dedicated inbox rather than Messenger. Why, if Facebook wants to drive meaningful connections, it doesn't get more meaningful than introducing you to your life partner. Tesla sued for $2 billion by hydrogen truck startup over alleged patent infringement. Nikola Motor Company has filed a lawsuit in Arizona alleging that Tesla's all-electric Semi infringes on the hydrogen truck startup's patents. The lawsuit claims Tesla willfully copied these patents in creating its electric truck, and Nikola is seeking $2 billion in damages in return. It also claims that a recruiter for Tesla, Aaron Hoyes, tried to poach Nikola's chief engineer just a few months after the startup unveiled its hydrogen semi-truck, and that this is evidence that Tesla was aware of Nikola's unique design features. F8 2018 Day 1 Recap. The biggest announcements from Day 1 of F8 2018. For full coverage and analysis visit TechCrunch.com. Facebook's Free Basics program ended quietly in Myanmar last year. As recently as last week, Facebook was touting the growth of Free Basics, its Internet.org project designed to give users free curated web access in developing countries, but the app isn't working out everywhere. As the outline originally reported and TechCrunch confirmed, the Free Basics program has ended in Myanmar, perhaps Facebook's most controversial non-Western market at the moment. The app provides users willing to sign up for Facebook with internet access that doesn't count against their mobile plan, stuff like the weather and local news, but keeps them within a specially tailored version of the platform's walled garden. A CEO known publicly for the power of smiling was just ousted for intimidating employees. Ron Gutman, the co-founder and CEO of HealthTap, a venture-backed medical advice startup, was reportedly elbowed out today by his board of directors. The reason, the board said in a letter to employees, was that it had finally heard too many complaints about Gutman's behavior inside the company. For now, says Recode, Gutman is being replaced by Bill Gossman, a software CEO whose LinkedIn profile shows that he also has been a longtime venture partner with Moore Davidow. The BBC will run its first podcast ads, powered by Acast. The BBC will start running ads in its podcasts, thanks to a partnership with podcast publishing and monetization company Acast. Acast CEO Ross Adams told me that ads will start running later this week, with the BBC including bumpers today announcing the imminent ad launch. Podcasts are one way we're reinventing BBC Radio to engage younger audiences with our world-class content, said Bob Shannon, director of BBC Radio and Music, in the announcement. The SmartLens app created by a high schooler is a step towards all-purpose visual search. A couple of years ago I was eagerly expectant of an app that would identify anything you pointed at. Turns out the problem was much harder than anyone expected, but that didn't stop high school senior Michael Roizen from trying. His app, SmartLens, attempts to solve the problem of seeing something and wanting to identify and learn more about it, with mixed success, to be sure, but it's something I don't mind having in my pocket. Liquid nicotine is a poison, so why is it being packaged like junk food? Among the products that were called out by US regulators in a flurry of warning letters was something called whipped strawberry, packaged in such a way that it looks like ready whipped topping. But it's liquid nicotine, and if a hungry kid mistakenly squirted it into their mouth, they could face vomiting, seizures, and even death. Too much, and it can mess up signals like the ones tell your heart how fast to beat and your muscles to move, and can lead to vomiting, abdominal cramps, drooling, seizures, problems breathing, paralysis, and even death. Facebook wants to fix the happy birthday spam problem by using stories. Have you ever turned off Facebook's notifications or even deleted the app entirely on your birthday simply to avoid the non-stop barrage of alerts that someone had posted happy birthday to your timeline? An update to how Facebook will handle birthday notifications was given a brief mention during today's keynote address at the company's F8 developer conference, hinting at a new birthday feature yet to come. This was mentioned briefly alongside other ideas for how stories will be expanded, like the upcoming launch of collaborative stories and a stories option that allows video clipping, for example. Facebook is finally giving users the option to clear their history. Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook CEO, today announced the site would introduce a feature which will grant users a measure of control over their data, specifically giving them control over how much information from their history is shared without third-party apps. The feature, appropriately named Clear History, will flush your browsing history on Facebook, including which websites you've visited from Facebook and what ads you've clicked on. Zuckerberg himself said in a post today that he gave a rather foggy response to congressional interrogation over just how much information Facebook's users were able to control their own data. Facebook Messenger is getting a clean new design and dark mode. Here's what it looks like. Facebook Messenger is the second most popular messaging app in the world behind another Facebook property, WhatsApp. But while WhatsApp has remained relatively clean and minimal, Messenger's features can make the app overwhelming. Now Facebook is trying to remedy Messenger's bloat with a new design, which it teased today at its F8 conference in California. We might be getting further away from creating a useful quantum computer. When will the world see a useful quantum computer system? A rash of recent breakthroughs has many experts convinced the quantum computer is imminent, while others remain skeptical they'll ever arrive. Breakthroughs in the field slow research down just as often as they speed things up, which seems counterintuitive, but as we've said, it's a weird and wacky area of science. Here's why thousands of AI researchers are about to boycott a science journal. Popular science journal Nature recently announced the creation of a new closed-access section of its publication, dedicated to machine learning, to be launched in January 2019. The AI community's reaction was, predictably, less than positive. The field of machine learning has seen a recent explosion of breakthroughs and community participation thanks, in no small part, to a spirit of sharing research and open access to published works. Avengers: Infinity War's bravest moment only works because nobody takes it seriously. Warning: major spoilers for Avengers: Infinity War below. When Avengers: Infinity War opened on April 27, it exceeded even Disney's own lofty expectations, besting Star Wars: The Force Awakens for the biggest box office opening in history. Given that it's the film meant to bring together all previous 18 movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Infinity War certainly had plenty of audience hype working in its favor. It was half of the team, with Black Panther, Doctor Strange and Star-Lord just a few of the headliner characters who crumbled to dust when Thanos snapped his Infinity Gauntlet-clad fingers. Are you ready to make friends with a robot? You'll soon need to be. Have you ever gotten angry with your GPS app's insistence that you take a slower route and shouted at it as if it were a person? Humans have a long history of personifying inanimate objects, whether it's saying "excuse me" to a chair accidentally, referring to ships as she and her, or recognizing a smiling face in the random patterns of a tree trunk and considering it, somehow, more alive. In today's era, where our digital devices can have basic interactions with us, it's even easier to assign these personable labels. The motivations: while it's amusing to envision a future with robots that walk and talk like humans, regardless of the Blade Runner-like potential consequences, there are some highly practical reasons for establishing human-like connections between people and machines. 1.